Hello again. There was a time, and I'm talking of only 20 or 30 years ago, when a news report about a British man being arrested abroad would have referred to a white person called Dave Smith or Peter Johnson, who was probably on holiday. These days, of course, when we heard on the news that a British man had been arrested in Cyprus for espionage against the British base of Akrotiri, most of us knew immediately that this was very unlikely to be a British man in any real meaning of the expression. When the war in Gaza began in autumn of 2023, there was a flurry of news stories about British people trapped there and the efforts of the Foreign Office to rescue them. When these British people were interviewed on television, they all had names like Mohammed or Abdul, and every one of them was of Middle Eastern ethnicity. None of them were really British. So it was that when news emerged that a British man had been arrested in Cyprus for spying on behalf of the Iranians, it was simply a matter of guessing what country he really was from, which would certainly not turn out to be Britain. In fact, he's an Azerbaijani and was born in that landlocked country on the edge of Asia, which once formed part of the Soviet Union. Over 97% of Azerbaijanis are Muslim, which makes things fairly clear when considering just what his motivation might have been if he was indeed spying on the RAF base on behalf of Iran. There was a time when British passports were very valuable documents, and acquiring one was difficult for foreigners. Other than marrying a British woman, the road to getting a passport issued in this country, unless you actually were British, was a long and arduous one. These days, though, they are handed out by the tens of thousands, seemingly to anybody who asks. This is a strange development, really, and not one seen in most countries. I have a very strong suspicion that if I turned up somewhere in the Caribbean, or indeed even in Azerbaijan, and tried to stay in the country and acquire citizenship, then I really would have my work cut out. Only the British play this game so eagerly with any random foreigner who turns up on the doorstep. Why there should be so many Azerbaijanis, Somalis, Afghans, Iraqis, and so on, who are being described with a straight face as being British, is not altogether clear to me. I suppose that somebody somewhere is benefiting from this racket, but I'm pretty sure it's not working to my advantage, or indeed to that of any real British people at all.